Hola and welcome to Lindita's Kitchen. I am Lindita and I've got a fun show for you. Why is that? Because I am making my famous vegetarian chili. I've had a lot of requests from my viewers out there and I've got family members that are vegetarian as well, and I wanted to share my famous recipe that everybody's gonna love and you're gonna love too. So let's get started with my 2 celeries. We're gonna start with 2. It's what you'll need, and I'll go through the recipe with you. And also I'm gonna be making some agua caliente. Whew, sounds hot, right? Agua caliente is hot water cornbread, and a little bit on the side too. So we're gonna start with our celery. I've got just 2 pieces, 2 stalks. You want them a little chunky. You know, you don't want them too thin, okay? Because this recipe has a lot of vegetables in here and you're gonna love. And I have, I gotta tell you a little story here too. Oops. My niece, Michelle, was out visiting, and I tried this recipe on her and she just absolutely just loves it. And of course she uses it all the time now. So thank you, Michelle, for sharing that with me, and I'm sharing it with you now. So I'm gonna go ahead and place this over in my bowl because you're gonna see these are big chunks and you want it kind of chunky too. So don't go too thin with that. And then we're gonna use 1/2 onion. It's my yellow onion. So, and again, be generous, you know, because it's gonna cook up really well, you know, really smooth. Onions. And my eyes don't water with onions, I'm telling you. Ian, why don't you get out here and do this? You can't. Just thought I'd share you, so he's already crying over there. I know, my poor baby. So we're gonna do 1/2 onion. I'm just gonna chop it down a little bit. Like I said, just be generous. You want it to be nice and hearty. Yeah, And then of course, you know, the jalapenos. The jalapenos, I always talk about this, you know, it's got the seeds. Yes, it can be hot. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove them because I'm gonna add this later. And I want mine with a kick, but then I want you, you know, whoever you're serving it to add their own heat as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the seeds. As you can see, it's pretty jam-packed in there, huh? I know. So you just take a spoon, you can just spoon it out. And if some go in there, it's okay, it's not gonna hurt you. It's not gonna blow your head off either. Okay, so we're gonna use 2 jalapenos. Man, this one's got a lot of seeds in there. Just go ahead and do the other. This one doesn't have as many, as you can see. But like I said, you know, if you want some more heat, just leave them in there. But I'm taking them out because I'm gonna serve it up later with the seed. Because I like mine a little on the spicy side. Yeah. For those that know me, know that about me. Okay, so now, you know, again, we're gonna just, you don't have to go too thin with these either. You don't want this in there. La cabecita, the little head. No, you don't want that in there. Yes, vegetarians, I'm telling you, I know that you use a lot of, my friends use a lot of my recipes, and they, you know, they don't use the meat. They can also go, you know, with the meat, you know, based. But, you know, here, we're going all vegetarian. I'm doing it for you and my familia. Everybody that loves chile. You're gonna love this recipe, I'm telling you, because you're gonna see the spices that I'm gonna be adding to it. And it's gonna just blow your little socks right off. Okay, just saying. Okay, now for the bell peppers, right? I'm using 2. I like the red and I like the green. I like the flavors. The red has more of a sweet taste. Have you noticed that? And if you haven't, try it. And I'm telling you, we use all of it. And we use the whole thing. So I'm gonna just remove this part and then just go ahead And I just cook with the whole thing. You can take the little veins out too if you want, just like that. But my mother used to say, use the whole thing. Why? It tastes the same, no? So, Mamacita, you're coming through loud and clear for me. So we're using the whole thing. Okay, so like I said, take a little bite of it. You can tell the difference. And because I'm always eating when I'm cooking, I always toss, and I do that, but I don't want to have a choking scene or anything. I don't know why I said that, but hey, it happens, It's for real. Okay, now it's filling up. Can you see this? Ooh, look how pretty that is. So it's going to be wonderful. These little hoppers want to hop out there. All right. A ver. And then, of course, the bell pepper. You do the same thing. Just clean it out. Remove the seeds. Take the little head out. Go ahead and just chop those babies up. Oh. Voila, mira. Oh, it tastes so fresh too as well. Oh. And you're gonna feel it in your tummy. It's gonna be so good. You may become a vegetarian. Never know. Here, let me move these out of the way. It's getting full in here. Okay, and then, of course, you gotta have cloves. Your garlic clove. And again, you have, I always say and again, you do have, if you don't have a molcajete, guess what? You can mince it, you can just chop it, you can do it any way you want. But it's all gonna go in there, and garlic is part of this amazing recipe as well. So, and it's almost in all my recipes. That's just part of our culture, no? Where you have all these beautiful ingredients. And here's your molcajete, okay? So now I'm using three cloves, and they're kind of chunky, right? So they're kind of big, and I'm gonna just chop these up a little bit. You can go ahead and mince them, really small. But I'm gonna go ahead and, like I said, use my molcajete, my mommy's. So you wanna mash these down. Oh, you gotta use some strength in it too. You wanna mash them down really good. Okay, and if, like I said, you can, if you have a mincer, use it. And one of these days, I'm gonna show you how to cure a molcajete, because you see them when you go to the La Marquetas, and my son over there, Mr. Ian, yeah, he wants my mom's molcajete, and that ain't gonna happen, buddy. So I bought him one, and we may just cure one for you so you can kind of see the process. And I like mine on it's gonna break apart as well, okay? Once it starts cooking up, oh. And I'm gonna go ahead and add a little bit of water. And you don't need water, when you're actually mincing, you just toss it in with your vegetables. But I'm gonna go ahead and add a little water just to loosen up the sides of the molcajete, just like that. You can mash them down a little bit more. It's not gonna make a big difference. Okay. So I think we've got all of our veggies and our garlic ready to go. So we'll take it over and we'll start the process. Let's do it. So I am using my Dutch oven, and I love it, but you can use any type of stock pot that you would like. And what I'm gonna do is add about a tablespoon of the olive oil. We'll get that warmed up, and that is We're gonna set it to like a medium heat right now. Get that going. And while that's heating up, I've got my vegetables that I'm gonna toss in there. So let me just, I don't know, I love doing that. Get the oil heated up a little bit. We're gonna toss in our vegetables. Ooh, very hearty. Okay. Let's give it a stir. Some big pieces in there. I'm just gonna, yeah, there we go. Get this baby going. So we want to cook this up, and while that is just warming up right now, like this, we're going to go ahead and start adding our green chili. And I use the 2 4-ounce green chili, and they're the roasted green chili, and it's mild as well. So we'll toss that in there. Get all our veggies to just blend together. So now would be a good time to add my garlic, cloves, give it another stir. Okay, we're gonna let it simmer we're gonna go ahead and let this simmer for 5 minutes. Okay, and we'll come back and we'll add some spices. So it's been about 5 minutes, as you can see. Ooh, they're all cooking together. They're all combining their flavors. And now we're gonna go ahead and add our seasonings. Some of our seasonings, we'll add some later too. We're gonna add 1 teaspoon of the cumin. Whoop. I'm gonna mix that up a little bit. 1 tablespoon of the salt, and I'm using just the regular salt, table salt. And then 2 tablespoons of the Mexican oregano. And you can get this online as well. A lot of stores don't carry it, but it just adds so much more flavor to it. And if you don't have it, you can use the regular oregano, but you'll see the difference when you make this recipe. Okay, we're gonna cook that up a little bit. Move this aside. So we're cooking that up, and I'm gonna show you here, you're gonna need 3 28-ounce cans of the whole tomatoes, just like this. So the whole tomatoes, and what you wanna do is just mash them down. Just squeeze them. Ooh, yeah. Squeeze them down. And then you see these little ends sometimes, the core right there. So, whoa, I just got squirted. Oh no. So we'll just remove that and then just squeeze them down. And this is the texture that you're gonna want. Okay, so I'm gonna rinse my hand off. And then we're gonna add our tomatoes. That's a lot of tomato. I did squeeze them all down. So you're gonna need 3 cans of the 28-ounce whole tomatoes. Okay, so I'm gonna try not to splash it all over me, but you never know. Woo! Okay. I'm gonna mix this all up. Oh, yeah. And we're gonna continue to simmer this. I'm gonna go ahead and add my other canned tomato, and then we'll get back with our beans. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and add the rest of the tomatoes, the 28-ounce. I'm gonna add to it. I already squeezed it. I just didn't wanna have you see me get squeezed on again, so that's what I did. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that in there, just like that. Then we're gonna add our beans. So I am using the northern white bean, and it's delicious. And that's a 15-ounce can. And then we're gonna go ahead and use the kidney, and I've drained them and cleaned them already. So 1 can of the kidney. And last but not least, of course, we're gonna also add some corn. 1 can, and it's been drained and cleaned. You know what else is missing? I know. Let's come on over here and drain them. Okay, is my black bean. The black bean, I'm using the black bean 15 ounce, so what you want to do is just make sure you rinse them out really well. Make sure you take off the lid. Whoops, you don't want that in there. Clean them nice. And we're gonna add them right into the pot. Okay, here we go. Now, is this gonna serve a family or what? And I'll give you some little pointers later. Okay, so we got that cooking up, and now we're gonna go ahead and add the rest of our ingredients, our seasonings. We're gonna add Linditas, one package of Linditas, and I'm telling you, you gotta have this in this recipe. If you want that real taste, chili flavor, this is what you need to have. Linditas, 1 pack. I'm telling you, it looks just like this. We're gonna add some chili powder. I think it's 1 tablespoon of the chili powder. And then 1 black pepper. Black pepper, 1 teaspoon. Actually, I went a little closer to 2 because I love pepper, but it's totally up to you. We're gonna mix all the ingredients together. Oh, yes. And we're gonna top it off with 2 bay leaves. Perfect. I'm gonna keep it, actually I'm gonna bring it to a quick boil, and then we're gonna we'll bring it down to a medium heat and we'll give it a cover. Okay, so let's bring it to a nice little boil. So we're bringing it to a nice little boil, and I just want to let you know, I did use 1 tablespoon of the light chili powder, okay? Because there is a difference. There's a dark and there's a light, and I prefer the light, okay? And I'm going to bring it down to now a simmer. And we're going to simmer that. We're going to cover and simmer for about 40 to 45 minutes. Okay, so let's get started on our Agua Caliente cornbread. Are you ready to make some Agua Caliente cornbread? Okay, like I said, hot water cornbread. All you'll need for this recipe is about 1.5 cups of the cornmeal. The yellow is what I use, and 1/2 cup of the white flour, and it's self-rising both, so you want that in this recipe. So we're gonna dump that in there, and I'm gonna use my big old whisk, or you can use your little fork, but I've got this whisk going on. We wanna mix it all together. Ooh, I see. And while we're mixing that, we're gonna add 1 teaspoon of sugar. I love it. And then 1 tablespoon of Linditas mild salsa mix. Okay, we're gonna add it in there for flavor and color. So we're cooking it up with Linditas today. So give it a nice little blend mix. Yes. And when it's self-rising, it just gives it a little bit of, you know, space, you know, so it's not flat like a pancake, you know. So you want the self-rising flour and corn. And this is the texture. Look how pretty that is, the color. Okay, so let me move this aside. And we're gonna add hot water, okay? Hot water, you really want it really warm, okay? It was steaming just a little while ago still. We're gonna go ahead and add it to the mixture. Keep stirring. Stir, stir, stir. Yeah. Till it's all in there. And you know, keep some hot water aside too. You know, you may need it if it gets thickened. If it thickens up too much, you want to add a little bit more hot water to it. But no, this is pretty much the recipe. We're gonna stir it. I have a tendency to move when I stir. Okay, it's not a bad thing. All right. So we're mixing it nice. And like I said, we're gonna let it rest for a little bit. And while it's resting, see? So we may add a little bit, I'm gonna let it rest and see what it looks like before I pour it into the skillet. Okay, so let's let it rest and let's get our skillet heated up. So I've turned this up to about a medium heat and I'm adding, you know, you can use a vegetable oil or a canola oil and enough to just coat the bottom of the skillet. And we're gonna let that warm up a little bit. Let me just move it around. Just like that. Okay, so, and we don't usually use an olive oil because olive oil will burn and you don't want that to happen. So now let's just go ahead and check on our chili and see how it's doing because we've had it on simmer. Ooh, the aromas are incredible, right, Ian? He's nodding, yes. Okay, we'll keep it going. Beautiful. Oh. Okay, so now we've got this heating up. Okay, let's just see. I'm gonna test it, see if it's ready. How I always do. Ooh, it's ready? Yes, it's ready to go. I'm gonna lower that heat down a little bit. And this is the consistency that you want. I did add about 2 more ounces of water, you know, to it. So this is the look that you want. And we're gonna do about 3 at a time. So you can make them bigger or you can make them smaller. I like them just right. Yes. Spread it out a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and cook this up for it'll be about 2 to 3 minutes per side. And you'll see once it starts cooking what it's supposed to look like. So this has been about 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Okay, and I think it's ready to flip. So we're gonna flip these over, just like that. Woo, it's sliding all over the place. Ole mole. Okay, nice. We're gonna let those cook up for another like 2 minutes. Depends on your range as well. It could go sooner, you know, sooner than later. So we'll keep an eye on it. I think these guys are ready to come off because they're nice and golden brown on the edges and it's been about 2 minutes per side. Let's just say we're gonna go ahead and drain them. And then, like I said, this recipe will also make about 12. So go ahead and do 3 more and then we'll plate it up. You get that sweet heat in there. And here it is, the final product, the final presentation. How beautiful this is. And of course, this is my famous vegetarian chili. And I've gone ahead and topped it off with a little cheese, jalapeno, some green onion. And you know, you can top it off with some cilantro because as I told stories before, I love cilantro. And if you don't really care for that, you can add your own, like parsley, any other, you know, herb that you would like. So I'm gonna top it off like that. And I just wanna let you know too, you know, for the show, it's been going wonderful. And I wanna let you know that I've got some guests that are coming back and I'm bringing on some new guests as well. We're gonna be doing some field trips, hanging out in the hood. So you're gonna have to join us and be part of this whole show. And you know, as you saw, I wanna just say Agua Caliente cornbread, it's got that sweet heat flavor. Oh, and it's just gonna melt in your mouth. And you wanna serve it up warm. That's a recommendation that I would just say. And look how beautiful this is. And again, for linditas, you know, if you want to add a little bit more heat, not just heat, spice, flavor, go ahead and just add a little bit more to your liking, no? How beautiful this is. Again, I want to say thank you for joining us here at our show. And I hope you're enjoying every show because I surely enjoy cooking for you. And again, till next time, mis amigos, just go to linditasalsa.com and make all these wonderful recipes as well. Bueno, salud.